Through 12 games, this New Orleans Saints team is 5-7, and they are third in their division. They have the same record as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat them this season, so they own the tiebreaker. Disappointed is not even the word to describe this team. Derek Carr has been a terrible quarterback with this team this season. He is one of the worst red zone quarterbacks in the NFL. He ranks 29th in quarterback efficiency in the red zone. This team in general is 26 in red zone efficiency with 47.3% of a completion rating of getting a touchdown in the red zone. The red zone offense is horrendous. Now, they could have been in a better situation if the tight end did catch the pass in the back of the red zone against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Thursday night, but that would just be one game. They've had a lot of miscues this season. The offensive line has not been good this season. They banked on Trevor Penning being that franchise tackle. He is a bust with this team. He is terrible. He is no longer a starting lineman with this team. That's Andrews Pete and Ryan Ramczyk. And Andrews Pete is also not a very good tackle in the NFL. He has his moments, but he gets beat a lot. So Derek Carr is getting beat up a lot behind this offensive line. And he is one of those quarterbacks that deal with a lot of injuries. Has dealt with some back injuries, a concussion, and a shoulder injury this season. And it's something that's constantly reoccurring with him. They went out this offseason after he got cut by the Las Vegas Raiders, and they gave him a lot of money. I don't know how you get out of this contract, but they have to find a way to get out of this contract or he retires from this team. That's the best case scenario, because this is a team the last few years, they've been pushing the cap back for years now with guys like Cameron Jordan, DeMario Davis. They even went out and got Tyrann Mathieu. This is his second year with this team. They were hoping that this could be a playoff year with this team, and instead it has went the opposite direction. Last season was bad, but it wasn't this bad. Andy Dalton at least was a better quarterback in the red zone than Derek Carr. Derek Carr will get his numbers. He's one of those quarterbacks that you look at on the stat sheet and say, is Derek Carr's having a good game? But when you look at him in game, he's awful. And you look at Taysom Hill, has not been the same quarterback since Sean Payton left because they don't know how to use him. When they put him in the red zone, he finds a way to punch the ball in for 6 points. Derek Carr is just a horrible quarterback with this team, and he just has to fit this system. And this all comes down to Dennis Allen and ownership. Dennis Allen should have been fired after last season. This team has too much talent to be in the situation that they're in. Another free agency signing bust is Jamal Williams. A guy that led the league in touchdowns last season is now averaging 2.8 yards a carry. Now, I will say this. He's dealt with some injuries this season, hasn't played all the games this season, but at the same time, he has not been a good running back with this team. And they don't even use him in goal line situations, which is another problem with this team. They just give the ball off to Alvin Kamara, or they call shotgun plays with Derek Carr. Why are you calling shotgun plays in the red zone? That is a Pete Carmichael issue, who is the offense coordinator with this team. So we're talking about a Saints team that is more than likely not going to make the playoffs this season. And if they do, they're not going to be able to make a deep playoff run with the way that this roster is constructed and the way that this coaching staff is looking. So after this season, you have to find a way to get rid of Derek Carr. You're going to have to go out and get a brand new head coach, get a brand new offensive coordinator, and a defensive coordinator as well. Dennis Allen is a solid defensive coordinator in the NFL. He should have never been the head coach with this team. Chris Olave has good potential, but he gives up on his routes. He drops passes, and sometimes he's just checked out of the game. Rashid Shaheed is a very good wide receiver running down the field. He's averaging 16 yards a catch. He has speed with this team, and he can be a legitimate number 2. Chris Olave is a good number 1 when his head is on straight. Rashid Shaheed's a good number 2. Michael Thomas after this season needs to be gone. Hasn't been bad this season, but he's already dealing with injuries again. He's on IR right now dealing with a knee injury. This is a guy that had that one big year and that really good stint with Sean Payton and Drew Brees and just fell off a cliff due to injuries. You are paying a lot of money to players that are not going out there and performing. Now, I will say this. That was a good move for the Saints to go in and restructure his contract to basically it's a 1-year deal. So after this season, he will be a free agent. I find it hard-pressed that they will bring him back next season. Jawan Johnson is a good tight end, but he's dealt with injuries this season as well. A lot of it is coming from injuries, but they weren't going to be in a better situation if they had the entire roster healthy either, because Dennis Allen is such a horrible head coach. Alontae Taylor is a very good cornerback in my opinion. Some people are not a big fan of him. I think he has big time potential with this team if you use him correctly. Marshawn Lattimore is a true number 1. He's dealing with an injury right now. He's on the IR report. And you look at Cameron Jordan, an older player that you're paying a decent amount of money to. The thing is with Cameron Jordan, he's not the same defensive end. He only has 2 sacks on this season. 2. And it's not saying that he's a horrible defensive player with this team. He's still going out there stopping the run. He's getting pressure when he needs to, but he's not the same defensive end he was 3-4 years ago. And that's apparent. Only had 8.5 sacks last season. So his play is declining with his age. The best football for Cameron Jordan is behind him. It's not in front of him. Demario Davis is still a slept-on linebacker in the league. He's very good. They have good talent. They just don't have the coaching there, and they don't have the quarterback, and it shows every single week with this team. You can't score in the red zone. Your offensive coordinator is terrible. Your quarterback is highly overpaid, and your head coach is basically a defensive coordinator posing at that position. Ownership needs to step in after this season, clean everything up, basically start this Saints team all over again. And this Saints team has not been the same since Sean Payton decided to leave this team and retire for a little bit. They have been in a horrible situation since then. Horrible draft picks, horrible free agency moves as well. But Jamal Williams and Derek Carr are two horrible free agents for this team, and they're reaping it right now. But let me know in the comment section below, can Derek Carr and New Orleans Saints turn this thing around? And you look at what they did against the Detroit Lions. They were able to go down there, get some points in the red zone. But look at how that game started. Look at how bad it was early in that game with Derek Carr. And he got knocked out of that game. And I understand a lot of people will say this as well. Put in Jameis Winston. Let's see what Jameis Winston has. It's the reason why Jameis Winston is the back quarterback with this team. Jameis Winston is not a terrible quarterback, but he's going to go out there and throw 1 or 2 touchdowns with the possibility of throwing 3 to 4 interceptions in a game because he lets the football rip. He can't read NFL defenses like Derek Carr, and Derek Carr isn't much better than Jameis Winston. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about this Saints team. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.